Good morning, my dear students. It's science time. Get ready for your class. So you're probably still wondering what classification keys or identification keys are and why your teacher is asking you to do one. Let me tell you why. So basically, students are asked to make a key to help them identify an unknown organism. If you design your key correctly, it's going to consist of a series of questions. Each of these questions will basically have a yes or no answer to them. Thus, there's only two possible answers for each question. Generally, you'll start with the question at the top of your key and you work your way downward. Your answers to the first question will then lead you to the next question that will also have a possible two answers, and so on and so forth. And at the end, your answers will lead you to the identity of the unknown organism. So here's a simple example that I put together to help you understand the power of an identification key. In this example, you're asked to create a key that will help you identify which animal you are asked to name. This example consists of 11 animals, as you can see. And at the moment, these 11 animals form one big group. So your task is to separate them into 11 individual groups, one animal per group, using a series of yes or no questions, of course. Now, there's many questions that we can ask, but I'm going to start by asking if these animals are mammals. Remember that mammals are warm-blooded animals, vertebrates. They are animals that have fur or hair and produce milk to nurse their youngs. So simply by asking this question, I'm separating a group of 11 animals into two smaller groups. Those that are mammals on the left and those that are not mammals on the right. So let's continue separating the mammals on the left. We can ask the question, does the mammal live on land? Again, there's two possible outcomes to this. Yes, they live on land, or they don't. If I continue with the monkey and the cow, I can ask another question. Does the mammal have horns? Yes or no? So at this point, the cow and the monkey are in their own group. So I've reached the end of this portion of the identification key. So I can do the same with the orca whale and the dolphin, and I would ask a question such as, is the mammal black and white? Yes or no? So now that the four mammals are separated and are in their own groups, I would have to do the same on the right with the non-mammals in this figure. So I've gone through a series of steps and questions. I've asked, does the non-mammal have feather? Does it have webbed feet? Does it slither on its belly like snake? Does it have scales? So we do the same steps till we have all 11 animals in their own group. So now I have a working identification key. Now let me show you how to use your key. So your teacher comes to you and hands here an unknown animal and asks you to identify it. Now you probably say, I know what a dolphin looks like when I see one. That I don't need an identification key to identify it. But this is just an example and just go with it for the moment. So keep in mind that this key will only help you identify one of the 11 animals presented on this key. If someone handed you an unknown animal that is not part of this key, there's no way that you could possibly identify it by using this key. Okay, so you're going to ask the first question: is my unknown animal a mammal? Yes or no? Now you look at it and you reply, yes, it is. Based on this answer, you can now disregard the right side of this key, because the right side of this key are the non-mammals. So your answer has led you to the next question: does my mammal live on land? No, it doesn't. So we're gonna disregard the monkey and the cow. Now this leads you to the next question: is my mammal black and white? No, it's not. Now your animal is identified as a dolphin. So in this worksheet, you'll start with the question at the top of your key and you work your way downwards. So you have to figure out what is the question you have to start with. If the answer of the first question is yes, this will lead you to the next question: is the shell spiral? If the answer is yes, it will be the pond snail. So here I've reached the end of this portion of the identification key. What if the answer is no? If the answer is no, the animal will be mussel. So at this point, the mussel and the pond snail are in their own group. All right, let's go back to the first question. What if the answer is no? This will lead you to another question that will also have a possible two answers, yes or no. Here, if the answer is yes, we're gonna go and ask another question: does it have 6 legs? If it does, then what will be the organism or the animal? What could it be? If the answer is no, let's go ahead and ask another question that have 2 possible answers, yes or no. If it's yes, then we go to the next question: is its body very round? If the answer for this question is yes, so it's the water mite. If its body is not very round, so the unknown animal here is water spider. Now at this point, the water mite and the water spider are in their own group. So I've reached the end of this portion of the identification key. So now we have 4 animals are separated and are in their own groups. You would have to do the same to the rest of the animals till you have each and every one separated and are in their own groups. So that was all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. I want you now to try to make your own key. Pick an animal, figure out what question can you start with and what questions come after that, and try to put your animals, each one in their own group, to identify them. If you have any questions, you can post your questions here down below. And don't forget to leave a comment so I know you watched this class. Till next time, stay safe and I'll see you next class. Good day, everyone.